Going here and see what's going on. I don't know how long this channel is going to last tonight because we've had some pretty good amounts of gremlins tonight, so this may be a fairly short weather overtime. We'll see what happens as we go along. Let me just make certain that we are netcasting as per necessary here because, again, gremlins, because, again, we've had some issues going on with the situation at hand from the last couple of days. We don't see anything in the good news at this time. We don't have anything going on where it comes to anything really heavy weather. We do see the potential of some more areas of showers and possibly maybe a thunderstorm coming up as we go toward the middle point of this next week. But for right now, things are very quiet. And again, I think we should be having no problems whatsoever. We'll take a look at the current schedule for what we've got in just a little bit here, so stay tuned for more on that. It is Monday. It is a fairly calm and dry day, so we do have, again, the best potential for anything involving best chances of rain several days out, so we don't see, again, anything major taking place for now. All right, looks like we are on with audio and video, so I'm going to go ahead and let YouTube and Twitch run themselves for a little bit. Welcome to Weather Overtime, our online video weather blog, keeping you updated with what's going on with weather across the News 12 viewing area. You can also catch me again. I'm on YouTube and Twitch. You can also find me on these social media networks down here. I'm not on Facebook because Facebook has locked me out. Somebody tried to hack me, and none of what I do with Facebook is helping, so I can't log back on again until Facebook says that I am who I am, and they can't tell that I am who I am until I give them ID, but they reject all of my ID. X, I'm no longer on X. The station is, I'm not. X is a dumpster fire, and I don't really want to be on there for anything whatsoever. So as of right now, we are on the some of the bigger ones, but not quite everything. Blue Sky, Mastodon, Counter Social, Tumblr, Instagram, Reddit. You can find me on lichess.org and chess.com if you'd like to check in there. And, of course, on our website, wdef.com/weather, where you can also find, again, all of our information and, again, what we do on social media for everything that we try to get in contact with for you here to let you know about what's happening. I want to start off with the biggest weather story of the day. Usually we do more trivia than anything else, so I wanted to make certain everybody saw this. There's been a lot of very strangely allowed, even though they are still illegal, cuts in Washington, talking about, again, trying to find fraud. Even though no fraud has been proven, it's still these people who are being allowed to rampage across the government are still looking to cut the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the National Weather Service, which, again, very peculiar to see this going on in the name of fraud. If there is fraud going on, will somebody at the top in the DOGE actually step forward and point out the fraud instead of just going through our personal private records and the tax money that we have paid? You don't get to go in and remove all that. That's not fair to us, the taxpayers, in the first place. And this is, I wish that the Congress people out there, the senators, would start looking at this as a very ugly situation, and it's not getting any better. And this is one good sign of the fact that as of right now, this is not a popular situation, and it's going to get worse before it gets better unless somebody in the federal government, in the higher echelons up there, start making a stand and saying, stop this, this is not right. Time to get the courts involved more than what we have been doing. Time for any of the senators out there to really look at what is going on out there. We ran this weather question of the day through the entire weekend, and we wanted to ask your opinion. It's a totally unscientific poll, but it is something to take a look at. And this, I think, is very telling in and of itself, to where we do these polls at our website. You can use the QR code to get there. This particular poll was ran from Friday because we wanted to know what you think about this. And the poll, which cut off at 7:30 tonight, showing again the cuts. Do you approve of the upcoming possible cuts or even more cuts from what it looks like, besides just first-year employees being cut. It's a good possibility there's going to be a lot more taken out from DOGE from NOAA because they talk too much about climate change, supposedly, which, again, that doesn't seem to be evidence of fraud to me, even if it was true, which, by the way, it's not. NOAA studies climate change, but just because they talk about climate change is no reason for this to be occurring. Absolutely not fair to anybody else, especially when we consider that if we weaken NOAA and the National Weather Service, that diminishes safety for everybody across the country in many different facets. This has to come to an end, and that is not being anything in the way of, I shouldn't be saying that as a journalist, as a scientist. It just is the way it is right now. This needs to be said, and that is not biased. That, again, is not trying to stay out of my lane. A lot of people are agreeing with this, that this is wrong. And again, this is something else to take a look at, that over 4 out of 5 people who voted in our polls do not approve of these upcoming possible cuts to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the National Weather Service. So for what it's worth, again, this is totally unscientific, but if this is a good representation of people who watch our TV station and are able to check in, this shows that I think this is not a good policy. Anything in the way of letting a foreigner come in and totally rip apart our budgetary process in the name of finding fraud, which they have not and have not proven or even tried to demonstrate whatsoever. So something to take a look at here that says something is not right. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark, or in this case, something is rotten in the state of South Africa. So this is something that really needs to be considered. Please contact your representatives. If you agree with this, fine and dandy, but you are very way off base on why you want this to happen. And cutting out fraud, it's not happening. It's not in existence. And if it was, I triple dog dare anybody in DOGE to be able to step forward and list the fraud that's going on. They've asked for people in the federal government to list what they do to prove that they are actually doing something. Well, here's it back at you, Mr. Musk. Go ahead and list the fraud you've encountered so far. And if you haven't, get out of our pocketbooks, get out of Social Security, get out of everything else. This is not right, and this needs to be said across very loud and very clear, and it's very sad that it seems like I'm the only person around here actually saying anything about this, and none of our elected representatives are doing so. So again, something to take a look at here. Again, just an unscientific poll, but it does say more than a few things, I think, about what the attitude of the country is. Our Bell-Tone weather question, we got sports, we got news questions available if you'd like to take a look at that. So thank you very much to Bell-Tone for being our sponsor on that. Let's go ahead and get to our temperatures for right now and see what's going on again for tonight, because it is a little brisk out there, but it's not bad. Mid to upper 40s, whereas last week we were easily back down in the 20s, calm winds, not much of a wind chill to talk about right after the top of the hour. So again, not too totally terrible for now, but into the morning that could be a much different story out there. Let's take a look just real quick about our weather picture of the day. Thanks to user Holly Joe from Athens. It's now the new TV show you've all been waiting for. Frosty the Snowman meets My Favorite Martian. So great opportunity to meet the snowman and the snow alien. So that's our weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, go ahead and send them in to us at pictures@wdef.com. Go to our social media pages, drop them off in the comments section, or just go to Weather Window headquarters at wdef.com/photos and turn yours in. Yours could be the next Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. Temperatures, again, at the top of the hour are pretty mild. We're just not seeing anything in the way of major change taking place for now, and good reason for that. A little colder over the Appalachians and the plateau, but really not by much. We've got what is called a trough, this dashed line you see here. That is just a little bit of a low pressure area stretched out across portions of the country, and it's very dry on both sides. There's some clouds out there, but not much of anything showing up in the way of any rainfall. There is some sprinkles from around Kirksville, Missouri, Hannibal, the Twin Cities, and up towards Chicago. But beyond that, there's really just not that much going on. Our next storm system way out over portions of the Pacific Northwest, and that is heading our way, but it's going to take a while to actually get here. Once it does, we'll be seeing better chances of rain. Dry and chilly tomorrow morning. Temperatures back in the 30s and 40s. Should be back pushing 70 degrees in parts of the area tomorrow afternoon for Tuesday. This front, as we go forward in time, it's going to wash out in the atmosphere, so there's not going to be much left of it. And the next system after that, again, will be our next cold front, which will be just north of us on Wednesday afternoon. And then we see again some very mild conditions for the next couple of days, with a chance of showers early on Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, we don't see much of anything going on except for a few clouds and maybe just a little bit cooler. And then as we get into early Friday morning, some clouds north of us, maybe some snow showers in the Appalachians north and east of us. And then by Friday afternoon, a little bit cooler, not by much, but it is looking again to be just a little bit milder out there for the next few days. Where and when it was absolutely very much on the chilly side over the last several days. Tomorrow morning, I would say for the kids getting out to the school bus stop, definitely want to make certain you're bundled up because we are going to be seeing some very chilly numbers out there once again. Not as bad as last week. Want to make certain we mention that because that is something really to pay attention to. Making certain kids are outdoors in weather like this, properly dressed, because when you're out there in shirt sleeves, that's almost painful to watch. Again, temperatures into the next few hours afterwards. Toward the afternoon, not doing too bad, back in the mid-60s, so it should be very much on the pleasant side. Take a look at the dog walking forecast early into tomorrow morning. Temperatures excuse me, we'll be back in the 30s and 40s and then rising through the 50s. Very mild. Should be a beautiful day tomorrow. No chance of rain seen anytime soon, so that's definitely good news out there. Thanks to Bill and Meg, our News 12 viewers from Cleveland, for a view of Roxy taking a spa day, and why shouldn't she, at Uptown Hound. And if you'd like to get your dog picture in here, go ahead and send them in to us at dogwalkingforecast at wdef.com/dogwalk. Let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions out there for the next couple of days. We should be seeing again some decently quiet weather. Island Cove, Lake Chickamauga. This is on our EPB fiber optics weathercam network at www.wdef.com/weather. We do see the possibility of some fog early in the morning. It doesn't look like much for right now, and in truth it's not, but with all the rainfall we had over the last few days, it's a good possibility with the colder air above and the warmer ground beneath that's going to radiate upwards as fog into tomorrow morning. Temperatures will also be quite pleasant, back in the mid to upper 60s, going for the lower 70s as we go toward Wednesday, and then chances of rain start to make their way in as we get toward Thursday, and that's going to knock our temperatures off by just a little bit, so we will see a downturn before we swing back upwards on Saturday, and then another cool down, but outside of some clouds on Monday, it's very quiet for right now. We had severe weather and winter weather all within about a week of each other. That's not happening this time around. Very glad to be able to hear that, so we don't see anything major league taking place, and again, that is some of the best news of all at this time. So we do see again the potential for more in the way of quiet conditions for right now, but I would watch this very carefully because remember, at this time of the year, between January and say April, we are just almost into the midpoint of severe weather season. And now is the time that we really need to be ready for that. So for the next few days, actually looking pretty good overall all the way on through. So not too shabby out there. Here's hoping it stays that way. Now, speaking of severe weather, a couple of things to notify you about. First of all, there's nothing going on. That's the good news. Secondly, in the next couple of days, specifically on Wednesday, the city of Collegedale, which sits east of Chattanooga, back over toward the Hamilton-Bradley County area, they're going to be holding a storm safety day. Your opportunity to learn more about what goes on when it comes to severe weather, being ready for that, and a whole bunch of other things. Partial listing of everything here sent to us by the city of Collegedale. The highlights, again, this is really cool. You can bring your weather radio. Weather radios, if you take a look down here in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, they're not so much radios anymore. They're more of a computer with a radio attached to it, and that computer can be changed. It can be made certain to work properly. You have to plug in the number, the code for the county you want to be notified for. So Hamilton County in Chattanooga has one, Bradley County, Tennessee, Murray County, Georgia, back into DeKalb and Jackson counties in Alabama. This is a great opportunity to stop by and have the experts program your weather radio for you. The Hamilton County Office of Emergency Management will help you program them. If you don't have one, Ace Hardware will be on site to, again, let you purchase a weather radio and then get it programmed. You can sign up for weather alerts. There are many demonstrations taking place, medical preparedness and health screening, pet safety during severe weather. That's something that a lot of people don't think about, and a lot of people before, during, and after Hurricane Katrina were probably wishing for that. Several rescue trucks will be there, information about emergency communications. There will be food trucks for a bit of a snack if you're in the mood for a nosh, volunteers, spotlights, and a church storm shelter, which could be a lifesaver depending on where and when you are. So again, find out more about all this. We've got it on our social media pages. It's coming up Wednesday, February 26th, 3 to 7 p.m. at the Commons at 4950 Swineyard Drive. And again, more information on our social media pages, or you can go to www.collegedaletn.gov and there'll be information on it from there. So thank you very much to the city of Collegedale for putting this on. Thanks to all the volunteers, Ace Hardware, all the local EMT, the emergency personnel, police, sheriff, fire, rescue, 911 operators, whoever is going to happen to be here with this. Thank you very much for being a part of this and helping to keep the community just that much more safer by putting this information on. Hopefully we'll get somebody out there to cover this, but for right now, your opportunity to get out there, again, collegedaletn.gov, if you'd like to know a little bit more about what is happening. Severe weather also, again, if you can't make it to the meetings, and there are more meetings coming up, National Weather Service in Morristown, which covers part of the News 12 viewing area. If you can't make the Skywarn meetings, you can get registered as a Skywarn spotter by learning the information, taking the quiz, passing the quiz, and then registering as a Skywarn spotter. All available. I tried to look on here. It doesn't matter where you're from. You can take this wherever you happen to live, in whatever county, district, or otherwise, and you can register with your local National Weather Service office after you pass the quiz. Skywarn training, on average, when you go to one of the meetings, lasts about, give or take, an hour, hour and a half. So you can get this taken care of in about 2 hours' time if you would like to become a spotter. And the more spotters we have, the better prepared we all are, because the more spotters that are out there looking, listening, and watching for severe weather and noticing things like what's going on with the radar, that is going to be something that you can help protect your community. One more very good example, hammering this home about what NOAA does to keep you safe. The idea behind a certain project is that NOAA gets broken up and the duties assigned to a private forecasting firm, in which case you have to pay using your taxes once to get the information processed, and then you have to pay again as a subscription to get things like tornado warnings. Not a good idea, never has been. That project has got a lot of things very backwards and, quite frankly, ridiculously, absolutely stupid in my not so humble opinion. One more good example about how NOAA protects the community by offering courses like this to train you, the citizen, to find out more about what's going on to help protect your community during times of severe weather. So please consider becoming a Skywarn personnel volunteer out there. It's totally free. You don't get paid for it. Next in-person meeting for the News 12 viewing area will be at Bradley County Cleveland, Tennessee, Thursday, March 20th, Walker Valley High School. That'll be at 750 Lauderdale Memorial Highway, Cleveland, Tennessee, 37312. And again, you can register for this. They have to know how many people are coming, so that's why you're being asked to register. Weather.gov/MRX. There's another one coming up for Marion County, but I don't seem to have the graphic ready to go. We can also help you program your weather radio. If you'd like to know more, all you have to do is go to our website, wdef.com/weather, for more information on that. Let me see. I think I've covered pretty much everything that there is to cover for tonight. Here's some good news. Again, 23 days and change until the spring equinox. We're almost out of winter, and we're coming close to spring for those of you who are tired of the icicles, the frost, and the cold winters below. And just about 20 more days beyond that, the Lookouts will be back in town. It's not too long before they get back to AT&T Field, so a good opportunity for you to go downtown and catch some baseball. Hopefully it'll be good weather for opening day. That'll be the 8th of April, 44 days until that happens. So looking very much forward to seeing that take place out there. So good news again on that from what we can see all the way on through into the next several days, weeks, and months. Want to say a couple of shout-out thank yous for today. First of all, I want to say thank you to News 12's morning show executive producer, Christine Arnold. I want to say thank you to News 12 Sales Department account executive, Mr. Patrick Motes, for helping to get our meeting set up. This gentleman is going to be coming to town over the next couple of days on Thursday. If you've never heard of him before, it's a great time to learn more about who he is and what he talks about when it comes to things like science. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I had the extraordinary privilege and ability to interview him today just for 15 minutes, but it was a great opportunity to learn more. Had a great time talking about things like Carl Sagan and Andrienne, the series Cosmos, which he helped to reimagine just a few years ago with Andrienne, what we can do as citizens to help talk up science and to do more about anything involving keeping science at the forefront of what's going on in our daily lives. A lot of the idiocy that's going on in Washington these days is saying we don't need science, we don't need research, we don't need anybody looking forward into the future, we don't need anybody studying this, everything's good the way it is. No, it is not. The one thing that is really helping to protect us is things like science. The tuberculosis outbreak around Kansas City, Missouri, the measles outbreak that is spreading out of New Mexico and Texas. You don't protect people by shutting them up about what's going on and what's happening with the CDC, the National Institutes of Health, the World Health Organization. That is some of the most backwards beliefs ever, and that is not good news for everybody around the United States, especially those who are susceptible to those diseases. So it was very nice to be able to talk to Dr. Tyson today to find out more about why he's doing what he's doing with this lecture tour. He's coming to Chattanooga this Thursday. The updated information, let me see, the event is called Cosmic Collisions, February 27th, 7:30 p.m. That'll be at Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Auditorium at 7:30 and again at 8:30. So you have two chances to be able to see them. You may notice that this is exactly the same as this. Had to thank my mom, and because he saw this straight off, my mom, if you don't know, makes a lot of my neckties, and this is one of the ones that she made, and I thought this would be a perfect necktie to wear for this event, talking about the cosmos and planets and science and all sorts of things like that. And he said that he didn't mind me having this as long as Pluto was not on here. As the joke is that Pluto, the fact is that Pluto is no longer a planet. It's a dwarf planet. It's smaller than our own moon. So it's not a planet anymore. It is, in fact, a planet, but it's a special planet called a dwarf planet. So that's why he was kind of worried about Pluto being on here at some point. If I can get to the auditorium, I would love to be able to get him to sign an autograph on this at some point in time, but we'll see how well that works. But thanks to Dr. Tyson for his time today. Thanks to Mr. Moats and Ms. Arnold for setting up the interview. Really do appreciate that. A good opportunity to find out more about how and why science is absolutely so important in our lives out there. All right, I think that should do it for tonight, so we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. How far have we gone here? About 24 minutes. I didn't think we had enough for a 15-minute show, let alone 24 minutes, so we're doing pretty good. Questions, concerns, ideas, complaints, if you absolutely must, go ahead and give us a shout. You can contact me again. Email address at the bottom of the screen, aonic@wdef.com. If you'd like to check out more, send me a message. If there's something on here you'd like to see, if there's too much of something else and you want it gone, we can't do this without you. We depend on you to send in information so we can cover what's going on in the community. So if you got a suggestion, let us know about it. We would love to know, but we can't do it until you actually tell us about it. Chip Chapman will be in bright and early on Tuesday morning with an update and to keep you updated on what's going on with time saver traffic, bus stop forecast, all kinds of things like that. And I'll be back in tomorrow afternoon with more information as well as we go toward that chance of rain coming up on Thursday, but a fairly tiny chance at that. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onick. Thank you for joining us for Monday's live edition of Weather Overtime, the replay at our website, website down at the bottom of your screen, and we'll have more for you coming up on Tuesday. Stay tuned to News 12 on air and online, and we'll talk to you again on Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us.